what it would look like, and come up with ways in which you would use it, and why you would use it in particular situations that could be useful.
I'm also part of the panel. My name is Max. I've had a decent amount of direct action experience. I was up at the G8 conference in Chicago a few years ago, participated in that, participated in Occupy DC when that was still going on. I've had some altercation with police also in there, so I feel like there's a very heavy correlation between actually getting things done and having to deal with the bureaucratic system that's there in place to make sure things are not done without their approval. I feel like it's very important that when you get a bunch of people together and actually have a consensus on deals that need to be done, or actual, like, just, I hate to use the word action, but actions that need to be accomplished. It's just better to get a whole bunch of people like-minded to organize it than just sit there and write your congressman or whatever. That doesn't really do anything. But thank you guys for showing up.
Anybody else do?
Did all of you go? Did you go?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Okay. We're doing introductions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just doing a check. Yeah, I know everybody else wants to.
Yeah, all right.
Dave, if you want to talk about your direct action experience, awesome. Just how you're doing, just general like mood check-in, introductions.
Okay.
My name is Piper. We drove in from Denver. I'm in grad school right now, so I do things as much as I can. I'm very new to activism in general. Coming from Oklahoma City for my undergrad, I didn't know about much and wasn't involved in too many things, but so that's why I'm here, because I'm interested to learn and to do as much as I can while being a full-time student and trying to figure that out. And because there's stuff going on in Denver that I want to be more a part of.
Sorry. I'm Daphne. I'm a senior here studying political science. What are we talking about? Just activism and stuff. Okay, well, I'm really passionate right now about Alaska Native rights and like contemporary colonization, I guess, and of Alaska. Right now, there's this village that I used to spend the summers in with my family, and it's kind of like it's an up-and-coming tourist destination. They had like a contract with the city or the village that they would only have one cruise ship in like a week or something, and they never, like, there wasn't a dock, like they tendered people in on like the lifeboats and stuff. And so right now they just completed a dock in the village so that the cruise ship could tie up and like flood the city with tourism. Village, it's not a city, it's like 800 people, and so they don't have like that, I don't know, they don't have the amount of like people, like natives that can sustain this, and so they're going to have to hire out from all over the place, which kind of sucks, and I'm super pissed about it. I'm going to go home this summer and try to like rally the village.
Where is that?
It's called Huna. It's in Southeast Alaska. Okay. It's like 800 people in the summertime.
I'm Dan.
Go ahead.
I don't have a ton of experience doing direct action and stuff. I went to Black Mesa as part of the Fort Lewis Caravan with Black Mesa Indigenous Resistance group, and direct action in some ways of just like supporting people that are resisting relocation from the coal company there, but it was also more of a supportive role, I guess. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure where the distinction between the two are, but I'm interested in learning more about like ecological resistance, forest defense stuff. Trying to be get more involved in that this summer, and yeah.
experience. I got into activism and anarchism through looking at grassroots movements and direct action. So I'm very attracted to putting the power in the hands of the people who are most affected by certain exploitation and stuff like that. Very interested in animal rights activism, but like I said, haven't done a whole lot of direct action myself. Would love to learn more about it, just for comfortability's sake, more about security culture around it as well, and things like that. So definitely interested in the discussion here. Let's see where that goes.
Here, and been doing activism going back to the days when we were trying to create nuclear-free zones on college campuses. So from there to the first war in Iraq to environmental activism, fracking, you know, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah.
And with framing what exactly direct action is, do folks have any like ideas, could be examples of like the concept of direct action, or what do you think of when you hear direct action?
I don't have any experience in doing this myself, but I've been researching a lot lately on like tripod stuff to like block roads for like fracking trucks, or like tree sitting for really extended periods of time. I was watching a video recently on an activist, Julia Hill, that was in a giant sequoia tree for 2 years in 1998 to 2000. So like that kind of like occupation of areas.
Yeah.
To whether it's picket signs out in front of your local McDonald's, to a broken window, to armed struggle. It all is pretty much just another alternative to getting one's demands met, other than the status quo and the usual voting, things like that. What's placed out, what the system places out in front of us to do. So, Sean, if you want to talk about why direct action is important for those reasons.
Do folks have any other examples or ideas that come to mind when they hear direct action before we move on?
I mean, for me, it just comes to like direct democratic consensus, essentially. So like a group of people just come together, just do a quick vote on what they're going to do. And if people don't want to participate in that, they don't have to participate in that, and there's no actual repercussions for that, because it is their right to not participate or to participate. So it actually adds a little more of a sense of personal, more individualistic freedom when it comes to consensus of the group. So I feel like that is a very important aspect of direct action. It's just that whole consensus of the group, and if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it.
It seems like it's just organizing without consent of the government or some figure of authority, and particularly acting against oppression that may exist in your life.
Yeah, and I would take that a step further, like following the analogy, directly acting, funny enough, against like the structures that you see as problematic, rather than forsaking that agency to some like legislative entity. You go out there and act against it and empower yourself and your community to do this. So in the few folks that chimed in, you can see that there's like a really broad understanding of direct action. And that's perfect because it's a really broad umbrella of a tactic. So what did you suggest a moment ago? I lost track.
I don't know. Yeah, when it comes to non-violent direct action, which is what we were mostly going to talk about it, I just wanted to emphasize that property destruction to a lot of people is also non-violence. So when it comes to like smashing out a Starbucks window, if that's like what you're aiming towards in a protest with a group of people, that's technically non-violent. To some people, if there's a child behind that window, that can be considered very violent. So it's kind of a thin line of how you go like about doing these things, and also going to talk about like who you're with when you're going to do certain actions. In the past, there has been police in Dallas, Portland, Chicago, New York that have posed as like anarchists, Black Bloc members and stuff like that, and have tried to rally people to get together, like, hey, let's go break all the McDonald's windows, there's 2 cop cars over here we can flip, like, who are actually police, who are trying to get like them to arrest you. So it's very important in situations like this that you're going to do this either like anonymously, or you're getting a group of people that you can trust to go out and do certain actions. And that thin line between property destruction and then whether you're, someone's like life is in jeopardy or someone's like personal being is in jeopardy too. It's just really important to like make sure that you're not going too far. In a protest in Portland in 2008, a WTO protest, a group of Black Bloc anarchists were smashing out a Chase Bank window, and there was elderly on the other side, and they were like, what the hell, like backing away from the window because it was about to completely smash out onto them. So that's something that, can be like addressed and say, hey, like you can clearly see the people like on the other side of the window. So when you're going towards, property destruction or something of that measure, you want to make sure that there's not people on the other side of the window. It's the best way I can put that. But,
Perfect metaphor.
yeah, or if you're going to flip a cop car, don't make the cop, you want the cop out of the car. Like, it's things like that can go. But that's also, in non-violent direct action when we talk about it. Because like I said, direct action can go from organizing armed struggle groups against certain, oppositions or regimes or something like that, if you're going to go that far with it. But we won't talk about that today. It's a little much. So
I think that serves as a good segue into talking about security culture. I like to start any direct action workshop or conversation with security culture to really emphasize how important that is. Is anybody here familiar with the idea or the concept of security culture? Can folks talk about it a little bit?
It's a lot to do with your language and what you talk about around certain people, and being aware that the things that you say can be told to one person to the next and the next, and it could end up in the wrong information in the wrong people's hands. So being aware of that all the time and making sure you're in safe environments when you do talk about things.
yeah, perfect, definitely. Not blabbing on Facebook, like, hey, we're all gonna group up today and go take down the Wendy's sign because we don't want it up anymore. Like those kinds of things you get out quick, and there's usually people who work for the police department who are watching activists if they know they're heavily involved in their small towns, especially a town of this size, and they're going to be watching you, looking at what you post, especially if they know that something's coming up, like if there's a protest in town, they're going to be looking for things like that. So it's really important that, you talk about that stuff in a safe place, if you have a meeting like such as this one, let's say that we were all about to go get together and rally against O'Reilly's Auto Parts because they have, racist aspects to them or something like that.